Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a GameStar presentation. We have game number 2 of the series between the Strength in Numbers guys and Fibbonacci 5. My name is ColdBlood, and I would be being joined by Kitfox if he hadn't disappeared. So I'll be rocking it solo for now. We'll go ahead and jump into the champion selection here. I'll just quickly check the Summoner Blackout on. So, we can already see they're trolling me with the Victor pick. I told them I'd give MVP to anyone who picked Victor. And, yeah, so, the teams have swapped now. So, Fibbonacci 5, they are 0-1 in this best of 3. They are currently on the blue side. They banned out Kassadin, Kha'Zix, and Ari. They definitely do not want Orzhon getting those strong picks. And they've auto-locked in the Fizz, so that will be making a return from the previous game, and was quite strong later on. So it's not too surprising to see him. For the Strength in Numbers guys, Shen, Zed, and Aatrox have been banned out. Aatrox was quite strong at all stages in the game, really, in the previous game. Zed, of course, you need a ban against decent mids, and both of these mid players are very skilled. And Shen, I don't think anyone wants to deal with Shen. So, Malphite and J4 have been locked in for Strength in Numbers now. They are undefeated from the previous Respawn LAN. And Fibbonacci 5, man, they gave him a awesome run for their money in the previous game. They have locked in the Malphite. And it looks like Zodiac may be running the J4 this time. I've just been informed Kitfox will be rejoining me shortly, so you won't have to listen to my dulcet tones for too long. So Zodiac going for a different approach, a similar champion with the percent damage shred, the long range engage, the flash combo ult is flash dash ult, I guess, is both what they bring. And it was Brandon Execute. He must really love his Malphite. He's run it 3 times now. So Vayne Sona have been locked in by Fibbonacci 5. They've decided to go for another kind of hypercarry, one who trades early game for late game. And we know that Toxic is fantastic at the AD carries. His team fantastic at protecting him. Vayne, the epitome of that combo working well. It looks like Sulzon may be deliberating on Ezreal here, and Nami. So Nami will be making her first appearance of the series. She picked up popularity not too long ago for obviously being an awesome champion. She will be locked in there, so the press R comp of Strength in Numbers making a reappearance here. It's looking very good for them so far. And Fibbonacci 5, they're going to be deliberating their last 2 picks. They've got a lot of squishiness. They've got some decent CC. We saw particularly the Churn the Waters from Toxic were pretty damn good in the last game. There was a team fight where he just AoE'd the enemy team down and ended up cleaning up. I was just going to say they really need an AoE engage. Zac would be perfect. And of course he gets the free farm against Malphite. Probably can't kill him. And it looks like we may actually... Oh no, it could be... well, Yorick again can't be killed by Malphite. And I think Yorick may actually be able to bully Malphite a little bit better and stop the free farming that he got going on. He definitely wants to stop Toxic having to deal with a 9 million health Malphite with... I was talking to him just before and he said he had 430 armor with his W popped. So that's a pretty decent choice there. Zac gonna be most likely in the jungle. I guess Yorick and Zac can either go top or jungle. If I had to guess, I'd say Zac would be in the jungle. And he is pretty decent against the J4. So it's now the mid laner under deliberation for the Strength in Numbers guys. It could potentially be the Orianna that they come out with. And I'm rejoined by the handsome Kitfox. How are you?
Very good, thank you, ColdBlood. This is shaping up to be an awesome game. If the last game is anything to go by, we are going to be set for one corker of a match. I cannot wait.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for the last pick. I was just saying to myself, I was expecting like an Orianna or something to go with the hard engage that Strength in Numbers have brought, but they may go for another AD mid here.
Jace has been locked in by Allzon, so the MVP from last game was Kha'Zix, knows how to AD mid. This time he's opted for the ranged slash melee option of Jace to go up against what seems to be Fizz.
Yeah, so I would argue that Jace, with his range and the knockback ability, the Thundering Blow, I think even though Allzon did very well in the previous game, I feel like Jace may be stronger against Fizz, specifically, because of the, later on he's able to just poke away at Fizz. Fizz has to go all in. He can't do much at range, apart from throw out a fish, or a lobster in Zaroz's case. And we're going to be moving into the champion select. Brandon Execute once again running with the Malphite, and this time he's going to be bullied out by a Yorick. So we'll have to see if that can make a dent in his otherwise fantastic farming in the previous two games.
3 for 3 with Malphite, 3 out of 3 games, Brandon Execute. And I reckon Tartarus, he played Singed last game, and he just got out-farmed. Malphite just built a lot of MR. We saw him rush the Spectral Cow, which gave him that 45 magic resist and gave him the laning potential. But this time he's gone for Yorick, and he just wants to bully Brandon Execute out of the match, because we saw how big of an impact the man had last match with his initiation, synchronizing with Vi's Assault and Battery. No Vi this match, and it actually fell through, which is interesting. But I'm expecting Tartarus to actually take down Brandon Execute for the first time today.
I think the big thing about the Yorick pick will be the, I'm trying to remember what the old tournament is called, the Unholy Revenant, I think, or Unholy Covenant. They're going to have 2 veins, and that is going to benefit from the protection the Sona provides. I think this Protect the AD comp from Fibbonacci 5 going to be a lot better this go around.
Yeah, the Omen of Death, you're talking about Yorick's ultimate. The Unholy Covenant's actually his passive.
Oh, okay, there you go.
It doesn't matter. There's just so many champions. I know we all get a little bit tongue-tied, but who do you expect to go large this match, ColdBlood? I'm expecting another big game from Allzon and Zodiac, but I would like to see massive Yorick play by Tartarus.
Yeah, I think top may again be a bit of a passive farm fest, maybe with Brandon having a little bit of a harder time than he has previously. I'm expecting Zaroz to go big on Fizz, to be honest. He knows how to play against the strength and numbers guys this time. He's going to have a lot more trouble because of the Jace, but I feel like with the guaranteed initiation of the Zac, I think Fizz will be a lot stronger in this game.
Hopefully he can have a bigger an impact than he did last game. We saw Zaroz. The burst was good, but after that he really didn't do much. And
he
then
had
they
to clean up, or he couldn't do much. Yeah.
He did. That was it. He was just separated from everyone else. So hopefully this time he can synergize well with Zac. So hopefully Coldham can actually get in there and rip him to shreds. The Aatrox ban was specifically targeted at him. It's now up to him to hit back and say, hey, I'm not a one champion player.
Oh yeah, for sure. So down at the bottom lane we see Ezreal Nami, which has the interesting interaction of the Aqua Empowerment and the Mystic Shot against the Son of Vayne, who can have a really strong all-in if the positioning allows them to get the Condemn into the wall. But I feel like Toxic is going to have a little bit of trouble early on. Although it occurs to me, Kit, that we said that last game, and it wasn't necessarily the case.
Yeah, we've been known to give the commentators curse from time to time, haven't we?
Yes.
It's a double-edged sword.
Oh, for
Some
sure.
people see it as a blessing, others as a curse.
I think it's just mostly a curse with us.
Yeah, we'll stay well away from it. So hopefully Fibbonacci 5 can bounce back and level it up at 1 apiece. We're not even in the final stages yet. This is just group stages. And ColdBlood, the League of Legends action here at Respawn definitely does not disappoint.
Oh, for sure. So, guys, I'm going to be interviewing a member of each of the teams after this series has concluded. I've already organised that with them. Very much looking forward to. I went down and I had a talk to him while Kit was on his smoko. And they're all really good friends, all 10 of the guys. They were just standing in a group laughing about the game. You remember that second last team fight, Kit, with where there was only 2 red members remaining.
Yes, I do.
And Malphite got the cleanup ult. He actually didn't ult the whole time. It wasn't the cooldown coming back up. He just never ulted. His team had a massive go at him about it.
Right. Selfish play. That's selfish. All he wanted was the kills.
He said he couldn't find the opportunity.
This is not solo queue. There's no iron team. Brandon, execute.
Okay, so we're into the skin battle already. Elzon, he must be a cheap bastard. He hasn't gone with a single skin the whole game. We don't even get to talk about the skin battle. It was a 4-for-4 in the end there, Kit. We're finally into the game. The teams have swapped around. It will be Fibbonacci 5 coming back, trying to come back from a 0-1 deficit in this best of 5, and the undefeated Strength in Numbers coming from the red-hand side.
As we watch these two teams roll out here, no pings or anything going out. The first time we commentated Strength in Numbers, we saw them go up against Gravitate, who were really good at warding their own jungle. I wonder if they might take that into account here and adopt some of that strategy themselves, because it really did seem to help Gravitate.
Yeah, we couldn't really talk about the level 1 power much, as I was ranting on a little bit. Elzon going to spot Tartarus. I'm not sure if he saw the rest of them. Looks like the red team gonna start heading over there. Zodiac just happy sitting there. The shock blast gonna go out from Elzon, so he hasn't started with the E, which you'd normally see Jason start with to get a team-wide Shirelli. That shock blast will definitely reveal that the blue team were indeed in the red buff. I wouldn't be surprised if Strength in Numbers suspect that there is a ward at their red. They should be prepared for some aggression there, as the blue team gonna get their recall off. Fibbonacci 5 getting down the ward they wanted to the red team's 0 warding so far, but I think they can't actually be too short here, Kit. They don't know if the enemy's gone yet.
Yeah, they're not 100%. They don't have that coverage on that side of the red buff, but they are well and truly gone. They're taking up positions at their own blue. It's going to be a pretty conventional jungle and leash from here on out, I'd say, from both teams. No swapping or exchanging of the buffs, and there it is, the big J4. Zodiac, expecting big things from him. We spoke to him after the first match, and he said that he has been practicing his Vi, but said nothing about his Jarvan. The big J4 is not a champion to be trifled with. You need to be talented at him to play him in ranked.
I would say what attracted him to Vi was the how close J4 is in to note. We've just been told by GameStar's Ragnarok that the J4 played by Zodiac at last respawn was fantastic, so we have nothing to worry about here. Although he is having his red stolen away here. Coldham is going to get the slingshot off on him. Zodiac may actually be forced out of his own jungle here. The smite goes off by Coldham. He doesn't have the level 3 yet because they changed the XP, but a very nice start for the 0-1 Fibbonacci here.
Interesting to note that we do have a lane swap here, so Vayne and Sona going up solo against the Malphite in Brandon Execute, and it looks like there's a bit of an exchange going on in mid here. Elzon is exchanging with Zaroz, and it looks as though the burst of Fizz not strong enough at this stage. Jace is just too powerful, and back talking about the lane swap, Yorick has gone bottom lane to go up against Ezreal and Nami. But Yorick has that bully power. I don't see a problem with that at all.
Yeah, we'll talk about the 1v1, the 1v2, as it happens quite a bit in Worlds. It hasn't happened much in Australian esports. It looks like it may be catching on here. Yorick is very strong in a 1v2 because his passive allows him to take less damage from basic attacks if he has the ghouls out. He has ranged farm, he has sustain, so he's looking very good. Brandon Execute taking a lot of damage on the Malphite. Malphite definitely needs some levels to be good in level 1. Very difficult for him early on. So
he's just letting himself get hit by Toxic, and he's proccing the silver bolts. And there it is again, you can see him just picking away, and that's what you do in a 2v1 lane. You bully the hell out of the person who's disadvantaged. Now bottom lane, Tartarus, he's farming comfortably under his turret down there, and then the mid lane, Elzon doing the powerful shock blast trick with Jace and just planting him on the face of Fizz, so keeping him down as well. This is the strategy from Fibbonacci 5 is to shut down the big players early.
Oh, Goldham going to be taking a lot of damage. He's forced to blow his flash to not have his passive prop. Zaro's going all in, ignite. Oh, they're both going to get ignited. Just punching back and forth. Zaro's is Olzon going to be jumping forward, but he gets slingshotted, and Zach is going to have his passive propped after picking up the first blood. And Fibbonacci 5 looking fantastic here, kid. Their Vayne is getting free farm. Their Yorick is doing fine at the bottom lane. And as soon as he hits level 6, he's done everything he needs to. He'll be able to copy the Vayne. Now that Zach and Fizz are ahead, I think Fibbonacci 5 definitely in a much better position than last game.
And took down GameStar's MVP for first blood as well. So Olzon is at a disadvantage. That's where Fibbonacci 5 want strength in numbers, the undefeated Respawn champions here. This is their tournament, and Nami and Ezreal are bullying Yorick out of lane here, but Nami taking a few hits from the Gravedigger himself. Brand and Execute again up top, doing a fine job of sitting under his turret. Zodiac has supported him very, very well, hasn't given away a kill yet, so Zodiac, you'll find him at top a lot, I'd say, ColdBlood.
Yeah, it would make sense. But when he hits level 6, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go top with the Jace. Or, yeah, we could see the teleport from Tata. So that's something we could actually touch on, is that both of the top laners have the teleport. If a dive goes down to them, they're not going to be able to ignite for some damage, but they will be able to return to lane very quickly or assist the other lane if a push should happen or try to be forced away.
You'd find in high-level play such as this, ColdBlood, that teleport is often better than ignite because it gives you the chance to get across the map. You can even tele gank if you're good enough at it. So teleport in the right hands, I'd take that over ignite any day of the week.
Oh, for sure. So Coldham going to be setting up his slingshot here as soon as they have vision of this Malphite. I think they'll be going for it. He does have his flash still available. The slingshot will be charged, and it will land on Brandon. He's going to be knocked into the wall, and Toxic is going to pick that kill up. That's exactly who they wanted to grab it. Coldham does not have his passive. Does not matter. It is a 1,000 gold lead for Fibbonacci here. The dive going down at the bottom lane, flash forward by Sulzon. He gets the Aqua Empowerment, but Tata is just going to hop, skip, jump out of there. Beautiful play from Fibbonacci 5.
And they take a tower as well. They are 2 kills up and 1 tower up over the undefeated champions of Respawn. But they reply in taking bottom tower, ColdBlood.
Yeah, this is going to be falling any second here. So a completely different game from what we saw last time. We saw a lot of farming, a lot of laning, and a lot of mid-killing going on. Now, both teams opting for a push strategy. I think blue team wanted to do this from the start here, Kit. They wanted the Vayne to get free farm. They wanted Yorick to be 1v2ing as a very strong 1v2er. And they wanted to hump mid and get Zeros ahead. He's equal in CS with a Jace. Jace should never be equal with a mid laner.
Yeah, but it is Fizz. Now, Fizz does have that harass potential. It is unreal. The Seastone Trident into Urgent Strike combination is huge. Now, Jace is going to take blue buff away here from Zodiac, and he needs to be careful here not to give too much ground up at his mid-turret as Gaylord, the support. We saw him play Thresh last match, making much better use of pink wards this game, clearing out tri-bushes. That's what he didn't do last game. He needs to be on top of that.
Yeah, interesting note here, Kit. You remember when he popped the box randomly in lane?
Yep.
His friend talked to him on Facebook, and he thought he alt-tabbed and he pressed R, and it ended up he was still in game.
Right.
So you'll probably be a little bit more careful about that. He doesn't want to crescendo nothing. So we saw Halski forced to get the heck out of there very quickly. Did not have to blow anything. And we should point out that the red team, they have brilliant poke with the Jace and Ezreal, particularly with the, what is the E called? The Tidecaller's Blessing. It was Aqua Empowerment when she was in the PBE. That is a lot of poke, and then they're engaged, Unstoppable Force into the Cataclysm, into the Tidal Wave. It's Fibbonacci 5 are ahead for now. They've got to keep that momentum rolling. They can't give up ground.
As soon as it becomes level, I think it'd be safe to say that the scales would just slightly tip in the favour of strength in numbers because of what you just said. The engage power is just so strong, and even an empowered shock blast from Jace has the potential to rip teams apart if placed correctly.
Yes, and they are going to have to kill Vayne twice. The Omen of Death going down onto Toxic, going to be very difficult for the red team. So I think it's safe to say, Kit, that we're with two skilled teams. They've both got strong team comps, and we are probably going to have another slugfest here. There's only 900 gold in the lead of the blue team at the moment. Coldham, I think he was spotted by the red ward there. He's actually going to be bubbled and get... Oh,
J4 missing the Dragon Strike onto the Demacian Standard there. Game mechanics doing its thing now. He's in trouble here. Zaros and Ulzons are exchanging in mid. Lobster goes out, and the Shock Blast picks him up. Great play there by Ulzon, managing to take down Fizz in that mid lane. Now he's back in the game. That's exactly what Zaros did not want after getting first blood.
Ulzon used his flash to dodge the Playful Trickster damage of Fizz. That made all the difference there. He also managed to force the flash of Fizz and still take him down with the Shock Blast. Beautiful play from Ulzon there. Like you say, Kit, exactly what he needed. Going to pick up the Hex Drinker, a fantastic choice against the magic damage he'll be going against between the Zac and the Fizz. So we'll probably see him going into the Mana Moon Brutalizer soon. Tartarus getting some damage down onto Brendan Execute. They're both very low CS because of what they were forced to go through before. Both at about 2200 gold. And both effective without items, so it's an interesting top lane. Looks like Zodiac wants to get a gank going down. He has the Cataclysm available.
Yeah, level 6 now for the big J4. Expect some big things from him. Here we go, on to Tartarus. Dragon Strike onto the Demacian Standard. The knock-up is on. The Unstoppable Force comes in. Cataclysm still available. Will they blow it? Will he pop it? No. Zodiac gets the last hit, takes down Tartarus, and just stems Yorik's farming for just that little bit longer. Seconds out. Dragon has been taken by Ezreal with what seems to be a massive True Shot barrage there. Shall we have another look at that one?
I think we'll have to, Kit. So the True Shot barrage going to go off. Boom, it takes the Dragon. And you know what, Kit? The exact same thing happened with Toxic Straven. Sulzon could not be happier with that.
So he's got one back on him.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that. I'm not sure if both of them were from the same spot. I don't know if both were blind.
Toxic would have been going, that dude just stole my trick.
Leave that up to me, eh?
As we catch up to live, mid lane well and truly down now, as bottom lane being pressured here. Toxic going down to farm, and a hush has just fallen over the map. It's two towers in favour of strength in numbers. They've got it back, and the momentum, the scales of momentum, ColdBlood, just tipping in their favour.
Yeah, so the gold lead at the moment sitting with the 1-0 strength in numbers, about 2.2k. We've got to talk about the ticking time bomb in the Vayne, though. She's only getting stronger. Toxic has the most CS on the map, apart from Ulzon. And we've seen the comeback potential of Zaros. He's actually going to get the Churn the Waters onto Ulzon. Dodge the Shock Blast into Acceleration Gate. Ulzon going to try and get out of here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Slingshot. He's actually going to manage to dodge it and get some damage down onto Zaros. Auto War going off here, and they actually exchanged their lives. Coldham picking up the kill there. And it's a win for blue team in that they get more gold because of the assist, but Fizz only got an assist to what's his name, Jace's kill, so he's not going to be too happy with that, I think.
Coldham just mopping up creeps in mid here as the push continues from Tartarus. He got ganked by Jarvan not so long ago, and now he's already overextended again, pushing Brandon Execute under his tier 2 turret. Zac needs to do something about that. Coldham needs to really get himself in gear. Yorick is just way too overextended, and they're doing nothing about it.
Yeah, he's got a ward down in a pretty good spot, actually, but last time Zodiac came from behind the tower. Looks like Yorick is going to back off now because of the low economy force on the top laners. They're not able to afford too much yet. Looks like Tartarus is deciding what to sell to make some room for himself. Malphite going back with 2,000 gold. Probably going to finish his Sunfire. There he goes, which is going to be very strong, at least at stopping some of that ghoul damage from Yorick. But they really need to get Aranduin's quickly here. The only thing that stops the True Bolt of Vayne is slowing her attack speed. You need a Frozen Heart or Aranduin's. because, like we said, she's a ticking time bomb. Fizz able to come back, Yorick able to make a ghost of her. The presence from Zac very strong. The protection of Sona very strong. As both the pink ward and normal ward going down from the red team there. They want to protect this red from Vayne, and they will successfully do so, Kit.
Yes, they have. Brandon Execute now bitch slapping Yorick around a little bit at top there, saying, get out of my lane. And he's done well here. Brandon Execute has got that Sunfire cape with his Doran shield. Now ColdHam is in a little bit of trouble here. Zodiac is in. Will he pop Cataclysm? He needs to if he's going to get a kill, or is he going to wait? He's waiting. Here it is. Cataclysm. Huge. It's a runaway. Bounces away. Zodiac goes down.
And the kills are in now. Ozon's getting in on the action, focusing Toxic. Cold needs to go down. There it is. Blob form activated. Sulzon picking away as Israel does at the back of a fight. And Captain Halski doing a really good job there. The Cataclysm timing from Zodiac was perfect.
I think a lot of lesser players, ourselves included, Kit, would have popped Cataclysm on Zac and saying, you're with us now. But he waited until he could catch a few people, and the tide away from Halski, it forced them to huddle into a bush. I think it even knocked up Zac, but the turnaround from the blue team was absolutely perfect. ColdHam coming back in at the perfect time, going to pick himself up some nice gold in the banana bush next to his red buff, and I believe Toxic walks away from that with 2 kills and 1 assist. Oh no, that'll be 1 kill and 1 assist he gets from that engage. So definitely a 1 fight for Fibbonacci 5.
The lifesteal potential she has, especially in synergy with her ultimate final hour, that's going to be intense. And let's not forget Night Hunter, her, some would say overpowered passive, but that move speed is doubled when she goes into final hour form. And she is going to be one hell of a contender as they pressure this bottom tower. In reply, there is only Sulzon there. He pops True Shot Barrage, does not hit any enemy champion. Now he's left with 0 mana. ColdHam going for the engage. Jace is in on the action, and just scaring them away with an empowered shock blast from that bottom tower.
Okay, so Zulon popping the True Shot Barrage to get the pressure off of his tower. Jace coming in to assist him. Now it's poor Halski having to deal with 3 enemy players. ColdHam has not backed away. Looks like they definitely want this bottom lane. Zaroz going to jump himself over the wall there. Although Ozon not giving up. Cataclysm going to go off by Zodiac. The immediate flash from Zaroz out of there. And the pressure going to go down on the bottom lane in exchange of the mid. I think Zodiac may have blown his flash. No, he didn't blow flash to get there quick enough. Oh, Zaroz taking a lot of damage. The Seeker's Arm Guard definitely saving him there. So it looks like red team, they want to get a reply in mid here, Kit. I wonder if it may be too ambitious though.
Well, the towers are 2-2 apiece, ColdBlood. This is leveled up, and they're only 1k behind on gold as well, the Fibbonacci 5 boys. So they are well in this game. It really is. It's shaping up to be another epic match.
Yeah, when you consider that both teams have such strong engage and little nuances you've got to deal with. You've got to deal with Jace, or he's just going to assassinate. You've got to deal with Vayne, or this 2 of her going to be wrecking you. As Brandon Execute his, I thought his Sunfire Cape procced aggro on the tower. It did not. Tartarus just whacking away with his guitar to try and save the tower. He does manage to do so. I don't think we've seen any teleports from either of these guys yet. Brandon Execute, despite, he's got a very solid playstyle of forcing a farm fest. And despite Yorick being a lane bully, they've still done that as the teleport going to go off by both of the top laners here going to join this fight. The Dragon is whacking away at ColdHam. Churn the Water's going to go off on Zodiac, going to take a lot of damage. The Tidal Wave was beautiful, the Crescendo not so much. Halski going to go into the wall, but a beautiful Unstoppable Force comes out here. ColdHam is going to run past Halski. Halski actually going to get that kill. Barely doesn't get out with the ebb and flow. Sulzon, he wants I'm a Gaylord, but I'm a Gaylord is just too fabulous. Gets out of there, and it ends up being a 1 for 3 in in the favor of the blue team. They're going to be picking up a Dragon as well, Kid. The gold is 300 apart for now. It'll soon be about 600 gold in the lead of Fibbonacci 5 here.
I'll tell you what, ColdBlood, there is a trainer coming, and it is the Fibbonacci 5 train. They are on fire here against the undefeated strength in numbers. This is the most threatened that they would have felt throughout their entire career at this LAN event.
Yeah, for sure. I I don't envy these guys for sure. Cataclysm going to go on to Zaros as the Ignite goes on to Zodiac. He could potentially fall. Nami cannot save him in time as Toxic going to try and take on Olzon with the red buff. As Zach gonna slingshot in, he actually does hit Olzon as a nice bubble goes off onto I'm a Gaylord. Jumping forward, Coldham, does he have his passive available? He does not. He will not be able to divide as the Triforce gonna do a lot of damage. Nice Mystic shot to pick up the kill there. Sulzon walking away with a kill there. The gold is bang on even, Kit, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a Game 3 with the way this game's going.
They cannot afford to throw here, F5. They really need to maintain that momentum, and doing things like that is not favourable at all, especially when it's a player like Coldham who's in the jungle with no blob passive. He really needs to be careful. He could have timed that elastic slingshot a lot better than he did. He just needs to not throw as hard as he did. Now the engage down on this top turret here. Tartarus is in a lot of trouble here. And that just goes down to bad map control. No warning, forced to pop flash, dodges the Aqua Prison, gets away from Ezreal. Zaros is in on the action. Will he throw the lobsters? It's eaten by Brand and Execute. No Zhonya's to save it yet. Goes down, well-timed, unstoppable force by Brand and Execute. And Fibbonacci 5 in trouble, Bane's there. Toxic gets himself a double kill. Malphite, Ezreal, and Jace triple kill for Toxic. Huge Bane play, tumbling everywhere at that top lane. And I'll tell you what, the attack speed of this man is 1.4 attacks per second. Absolutely dominating, and now they're going to get a cheeky Baron as well.
Oh, so the Baz Kebab going to be started. Zodiac, he does have the Smite available. There is a pink ward there. Can it see that ward? It can. So they're going to try and clear it. No, it looks like blue team going to back off. Just well done by J4 and Nami to stop that Baz Kebab. Like I say, Kid, it was very cheeky, and they were forced to back away from it. They could potentially get the mid tower here, and by potentially, I mean definitely.
Yeah, Zodiac not interested.
Oh, no.
No, Raj came out, spotted, and was well avoided in the end. You really don't want to be on the end of one of those, especially when they haven't hit anything yet. It packs a punch. So Sulzon, that's the beauty of the Ezreal ultimate, though. It's got a quick refresh time, kind of like Lux's Final Spark. So you can spam and abuse it as much as you'd like.
Yeah, for sure. You can use it to try and counter push, get the cooldown down with Mystic Shot. So we'll have a look at the vision for both these teams. Blue team, I think I know what they want to be aware of. For the red team, kind of the same, really. This bottom part of the map, fairly ignored. And just as I say that, of course, the pink ward placed down, I believe it was by Zach. Both of the junglers look like they could be working towards an Aegis. Randuin's going to be started here by the Yorick. It's definitely what they need. Oh no, it actually will be Sunfire Cape. Churn the Waters actually lands on Halski. Nice tidal wave to try and disengage. But Zaros mid going to not get the kill on Halski. And he actually ends up going down. What a fantastic Cataclysm to trap him in tower range. I'm not sure how Halski got out of that one.
Halski very, very lucky indeed. Still running away and is forced to back under her first inhibitor turret. So now the counter push is on for the strength in numbers boys. They've countered up to the second tier tower of Fibbonacci 5, but they've still got a lot of HP here. Sona doing the healing jobs very, very well near now. Toxic has got the Omen of Death down and is giving chase, but strength in numbers do not want a bar of it, and they did well to force the Yorick ultimate there. That's down for a long time.
I think the Yorick ult was just to say, you know, if you fight us, it's going to be basically a 5v4. So they counter push for the time being, and it looks like they bought enough time for Zaros to get back.
Final hour is on. We are on here, ladies and gentlemen, and as the Aqua Prison is forced, that Night Hunter passive is too strong, and the Static Shiv combining, and Toxic did a very, very good job there. Final hour is down, and now the counter push is on again. We are going tit for tat in this mid lane. Unstoppable force. Toxic is going to fall. Yes, he is. Ezreal goes down as well, so Sulzon, both the ADCs down. Colden should be next to go, or is he? Blob form is activated. Zaros goes down. Double kill to Brand and Execute. Tartarus has to run away. Sulzon with the empowered shock blast, waited for the blobs to converge, and gets himself an empowered shock blast kill on to Coldham. So that was a 1 3-for-3 exchange in favour of strength in numbers.
Oh, wow. So they pick up a 2,000 gold lead. They're going to be taking down this turret. Apologies for the camera spasm there. That unstoppable force was perfect. And, or I guess perfect, maybe stretching it a bit far. It landed on Vayne. That was what counted. Toxic went down before he could tumble out of there. The follow-up from Zodiac was nigh on perfection. And unfortunately for the blue team, the Churn the Waters did not land onto strength in numbers. Fibbonacci 5 now, the momentum is definitely swinging both ways. Kit, you've brought that up multiple times because it's so important when teams are this evenly matched. You've got to ride that wave of momentum, and both these teams are skilled enough to be able to snatch it away from the enemy. So we'll have to see if strength in numbers can continue this push they've got going on. They've got an extra tower over their opponents. They've got 3.3 thousand gold. Not for long though, as the dragon will fall to the Fibbonacci 5 here. And we'll have to see whether Baron is the major catalyst of this match, or if we're going to just have another tug of war.
Zodiac here, he's building tank Jarvan, and he hasn't opted for a Sunfire cape yet. If he's going to be landing those cataclysms, if he wants to make an impact in those team fights, he needs to build himself a Sunfire right now. Imperative on a J4 tank, I find.
You need something to deal with Vayne. I think he's making the right choice by going for Randuin's. They need to stop Vayne's attack speed, or she is just going to murder everyone. We can see Brandon Execute also going for the Frozen Heart. He would be very brave to turn that into an Iceborne Gauntlet, I feel. 3-2-3 at the moment. He needs to put that gold to use and shut down Toxic, who has done a really good job of cleaning up in these fights, just dying in at the last engage there. So we'll have a look at the CS. Malphite rocking a lot of it. Jace with the highest. Oh wow, Vayne and Ezreal exactly the same here as Solzon and his team heading to the top lane as Tartarus tries to throw out some ghouls to stop it. The slingshot not going to land on Solzon there, and Zazo's completely out of position. The Aqua Prison goes down. It's a 5v4 at the moment here, Kit. They might think Fizz is waiting off to the side, although I think he may have just walked past the ward. I wonder if Red Team are brave enough to dive this yet. Cell Division is not yet available.
This has been an interesting engage here. Fizz managed to run from the bottom jungle here to get with his team in this fight. And here it is, Colden with the engage. Will Sona pop crescendo. There's the tidal wave. Huge tidal wave there by Halsey. And now that split kill is on. Jason Fizz going at each other. Toxic goes down. He's the first casualty, and this is going to the SG boys' way. But now it's just everywhere. There's death everywhere. Vayne picks himself up a triple kill. Solzon has to be here. He really needs to run. Solzon has forced back with him. They picked themselves up the tower, and it was a 3-3. I think even though they looked... They were disadvantaged early, but I think they were on the 3-5.
Yeah, well, the tower did go down for them, so it was a net loss. But that Yorick ult was showing its power there. That's why they want to rework him. They got dived, and Fibbonacci definitely got outplayed by strength of numbers in that, until Vayne got back up, and they just started murdering with, I believe it was Zaros, who was zoning both Zodiac and Halsky out of the fight. No, sorry, it was Olzon and Halsky out of the fight. And by the time Vayne caught up to them, they were low enough to get cleaned up. Ends up being a 3-for-3 because of that Omen of Death. And the gold is again in strength of numbers favor by about 3,000. Now 5 pieces of infrastructure down to the 3 of Fibbonacci 5. And what is Jace going to buy with his gold here, kid? He's got 2,800.
I think Jace, he might be going for a more of Malmortius, just because he's opted for that Hex Drink, but now he's got the Mana Moon. So interesting choice there, and he's opted to pick himself up a pickaxe as well, just for that little bit of extra damage. Let's just see what he's rocking at the moment as he makes his way out of base. As we zoom in onto Olzon, he's got 319 attack damage. That is absolutely monstrous for a mid laner.
Oh, Brandon Execute going to catch on to Zaros here, going to force him back. Oh, I think the red team has realized that the entire blue team is down at the Baron pit. There is no vision for the blue team, but they know something's going on. Brandon waddling his way there, followed by the enemy. Is Yorick going to be able to do anything about this? True Shot Barrage is going to reveal him being close. Zach is not going to be there in time to try and smite. Tartarus not able to do anything. Zodiac picks up the Baron as the immediate turnaround. Unstoppable Force goes on. Toxic forced to flash out. He will kill Brandon as Sulzon is going to be jumped on by Fizz. Toxic, will he be able to get out of there? He has the Yorick ult on top of him. He's going to get back up, do a lot of damage to Husky. Now Zodiac going to be chased out of there. The last... Oh no, he barely escaped. Auto's on. He just has to survive the last little bits of Vayne's damage. She shoots out just as she times out. Tartarus is going to try and go for Ulzon. Tartarus has a lot of armor. He's going to turn around and go into Zodiac. Zach going to be holding back in. Does manage to land it. And it ends up being a 4 for 3 in the exchange of the blue team. Keeping in mind, Red did pick up the Baron. Jace the only one left with that buff left. And they're dancing back and forth. Ulzon, he wants to PvP as Coldham backs out once again. Tartarus walking away with his life. Ulzon not finished yet as teleport gonna go off by Brandon Execute. Ulzon, he wants this Zac dead. He's going to be following him. He's got the blue buff. He's going to be able to spam his abilities. Coldham falling so low. And the slam dunked. Oh wow, that was a chase and a half.
That was a fight and a half. That was an intense engage there in the mid lane. It's 20-19 on the scoreboard. 3 towers for F5, 5 towers for strength in numbers. And I tell you what, they are putting fear into the heart of strength in numbers here at Fibbonacci 5. Strength in numbers would not have felt this threatened ever. So this is the first time where we actually see, when you're forced into a corner, this is what happens, and strength in numbers are actually standing up.
What is that called in psychology? The cornered wolf?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think that's coming out. I mean, that was a perfect unstoppable force from Brandon Execute. They had Baron buff, and they still end up getting 3 for forward. That is just such immaculate play by both teams. Strength and numbers for picking up the Baron and engaging properly. And then the reactionary play from Fibbonacci 5 here. Autoton. We pointed out the poke earlier on. It's going to be very strong between the Triforce Ezreal and the AD stacking Jace. They're going to be able to poke away the Dragon. The next point of contention here. It's weird. They just had a massive fight over Baron. Now they're still dancing back and forth around the Dragon. They want to pick up this 950 gold for their team. Coldham. Oh, that would have been perfect if it was a second earlier. The engage is going to go off. Let's Bounce is going to happen. Toxic going to take down Zodiac and not roll through the Cataclysm, as dominating is the Jace. Going to jump forward onto Zarzoz. Zarzoz going to try and waste some time. He cannot. Halsky going to take him down. Jace and Vayne both with the double kill. Unstoppable Force only
He didn't ult again. He didn't use it again.
Brandon Execute. He's going to flash and get the seismic shot onto Toxic. Oh, he's going to try and go for Ordon, but that ground slam from Malphite, it is too strong. As how much is that reducing her attack speed by? 50%. That is redonkulous. And I'm a Gaylord, the last surviving member of Fibbonacci 5 there. Red team going to pick up a dragon to rub salt into that wound. 7,000 gold lead now to them, and they're going to be continuing the push with their Baron up Jace.
There's that momentum we were talking about now back in the favour of the strength in numbers boys. But Brandon Execute, his team was having a go at him last match for not ulting, and he did it again. What a fool. But it saved him, so I don't know, man. That's just unbelievable play.
I guess the amount of Fs that Brandon Execute gives is just close to 0. Golem going to be picked up by Sulzon. Ulzon. Going to be continuing the push at the top lane. The only surviving outer structure for the blue team down here at the bottom lane. And again, 7,000 gold lead for the strength and numbers guys. The Guardian Angel has been picked up on Vayne. That could make all the difference. She now has 3 lives if Yorick does use the alternate. Or alternatively, it allows Fizz to go in, kill someone, and come back up and do it again.
Her attack speed is 2 per second.
Oh,
that's an attack every half a second. That's amazing.
And because the final hour gives 55 AD, she will be hitting like a freight train on steroids, I feel, at this point, Kit.
Well, let's just check out her damage. What's she rocking? We saw Jace earlier on at 319. As we have a look at Vayne, she's on 150, but as you said, she's opted for crit and attack speed here. She's got the Phantom Dancer, got the Static Shiv, and then opted for the GA. But like you said, it's Vayne. You don't need to stack damage because of that Silver Bolts, because of that final hour. She just has so much more at her disposal than most other AD champs.
Yeah, the Phantom Dancer actually allows her to move through Cataclysm's walls, as Cataclysm is counted as units. So she's able to move through. I mean, she can tumble through it anyway, so Zodiac going to find it very difficult now. He has the Randuins. That is what he needed. If he can get that off on Toxic, and they can get the ground slam from Execute there. So CDR Cap on the Malphite. He's going to be spamming out his abilities as much as he can. The mid tower will eventually fall to the man of tomorrow. Final hour going to go off. Zodiac being the one under focus. The fucking Bible was perfect as dropping the Earth Bomb there. As Sulzon going to be jumping forward. It's a 2 for 0 at the moment. As it looks like the red team... looks like red team... Alright, dropping the F-bomb there. I've had both my co-casters have to leave the table. That bubble from Halski was absolutely perfect. Brandon Execute going to teleport next to himself. The Nexus is going to explode. And the game is finally over here, Kit.
Wow. How good was that, Super Roach? That was amazing.
So,
Dylan ColdBlood, that was intense.
Hey, we've got a warning in the intro.
We do have a warning in the intro. Apologies to anyone who is listening out there, but this cast is actually M-rated, so you should be 15 anyway.
I still apologise, guys. That was out of line.
Doesn't matter. But it was a good game. That's what happens. That's what happens when you get this caliber of a match.
Yeah.
But F5 just not strong enough on this occasion.
Okay, so we're going to have to nominate an MVP. Who are we thinking here?
It's going to be interesting, this one.
Maybe Husky for the last bubble. I've heard it was quite good.
The bubble was quite good, hey?
Yeah.
No, I reckon, well, just pure stat-wise, you'd have to give it to Olsen. I mean, check out the stats. 14 for 11 with 16.2k, nearly 300 CS, and the game only went for half an hour.
Oh.
That's pretty good. I'd give it to him.
Oh, he got the last one. I really think we should give it to Husky here.
This is an important award. It is an MVP. This is not what you get when you come fourth in Little Athletics. It's not a participation ribbon.
Yeah, all right.
It's best on ground, and I reckon it was Olsen again.
Yeah, all right. So congratulations, Olsen, Diamond 1 player of strength in numbers, picking up both MVPs in this series. Well played to them. We'll get an interview with them as soon as we can, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back later on with more LOL and Dota 2. Go and grab some dinner if it is the time for you, and we'll catch you later on tonight. This is ColdBlood and Kitfox signing out.